It's good, my bro.
Yo, yo, how you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
Oh, I'm fucking excellent. 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 It's a Friday night. I got a spliff in my hand. I'm doing the show. Life for there is great, you know?
Facts, my bro. Facts. Big facts. Yeah. I actually have to go to the dispensary myself after this. So, well, actually, I gotta cook supper and all that shit. Go to the
What was that?
dispensary. What's that? I said I gotta go to the dispensary after all this. So, this myself. I just ran out. So. But I'm nice and baked myself, so I feel you.
Nice, nice. So, yeah, man, I was checking the music. Yo, dope, dope.
Wait,
And I like, I like how, like, when you send the message and you're saying you want to be on the show, like
yeah,
the way you worded it, it was like for sure, man. Like, fuck, how can I just say no? I was like, yo, like you really like kind of like presented your case, and you're like, yo, I really want to
yeah.
be on the show. And I was like, I appreciate that
Yeah, word, man. I appreciate that as well. This year definitely I've been trying to reach out wherever I can, wherever I see, because there's not a lot of opportunity out here in Saskatchewan where I'm from to get these types of things, whether it be big or small or whatever, newspaper articles, anything like that. There's not a lot to get more of promotion for your market, right? And grow your family and stuff like that. There's not a lot of that here, so definitely try and reach out a little bit more to outside, right? So yeah, no, I appreciate you having me on.
for sure, for sure. With even with like no matter where you're at, like, even if you're in a big city. Like
Yeah.
you want to get on the internet and you want to take advantage of networking across the world, right?
Well, that's
Uh,
yeah, and it's the day and age, man. You know, the one that we're living in. So, got to get out there on the internet.
for sure, for sure.
Can be
Um,
pros and cons, but
yeah.
yeah.
So when did this whole like rapping start for you? Like when did like were you like just started like writing first, kind of like I want to get into this, start writing? Were you freestyling,
Um,
or how was it?
shit, like I don't know. I've told the story a few times, but like I think I've always been into music, right? Because I was just always a musical person.
Yeah.
Um, but ultimate wish of the year. I'll follow you, my dude. I don't think I know you. I'm sorry, but word up, word up. Uh, no, I've always been into music and stuff like that, and I've been in bands and whatever in high school, metal bands actually. You know, I played drums and guitar and the whole nine yards. And that kind of stuff never worked out, but I always wrote lyrics as well because I was the vocalist. So transitioning was kind of easy because I wanted something that was a little bit more, what's the word? I guess like appeals to everybody, right? And hip hop was at the time, it was 2016, and that was just what it was. It blew up right around that time again. So that's what I kind of chose. And I noticed that I was decent at it too, right? I'd always been producing and stuff like that. And it's just kind of taken off since then, right? I've learned to produce and make and master and done my own music videos and artwork and just gradually try to progress with.
Is there something we can do about the audio? It sounds like
Yeah, hold up, my man. Is that better?
it sounds good for now. Yeah.
Okay, let me know if it messes up again here. I'm
Okay.
trying to see if I can join in. If I can, I can join in on my laptop. That'd be better.
I don't know. It seems all right now.
Okay, it might have just been the way it was.
Yeah. So for show space, whether I just tuned in, and you were saying you were in a metal band first. Like, how was it in transitioning from like the band to like kind of like the solo thing? Because I know with the band thing, like everybody has to be on point. Like if somebody that one person doesn't show up, then it kind of throws off the whole thing.
Yeah,
With the solo rapping thing, it's just like, yo, I hop on the beat, and it's all on me.
Well, exactly, yeah, and that's no, it was a pretty easy transition for me because I think at the time, especially, I was pretty young. I think I was like 18, and I was going through a lot of stuff, right? And I wanted to write that and get that out, and um, it like you were saying, right? Everybody in a band has to be on point, and at the time, I don't think everybody really was. So that was definitely a thing that. Well, exactly, yeah. Oh, shoot. Yeah, no, I was trying to get that loaded up on my computer, but no, that was definitely a thing that was kind of messing with the creative flow, I'd say. So um, it was an easy transition for sure. Once I got started there, you know.
For sure, for sure. Would you ever like consider like doing another band, being another band?
I've thought about it, but I think I'd use more of the hip hop influence itself.
Right.
Um, you know, like I've always as well been into like Rage Against the Machine or the Roots even, right? So merge those two
Yeah.
types of things and or something weird, you know, something kind of next level. But I'd be into it if you can find the right people, and that's the hard thing.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Finding the right people is like it's definitely been like like everybody struggles with this. Everybody in entertainment finds like I find like me myself, I'm trying to look for like the right team, you know, like the right teammates, but it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, yeah. No, I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah, myself
So,
actually run a record label too, right? So for Saskatchewan independent artists, and so I feel you on that because we're trying to grow our staff side of things. So it's hard finding the right people, definitely.
for sure, for sure. Yeah. So, when I first checked you out, you had a new record with Junk. How'd that come about?
Me and Junk actually, shout out Junk. No, we worked together. I've talked to Junk, geez, for a while now about doing a track, and then we did one in 2018, and then it got released in 2020. So it took a while, right? That one was, but through that we made the connection and whatever. Um, and since then, I started working with dudes like Young Stitch and Mason Rex, people that are a little bit more in his camp as well. Again, so with what I was working with at the time, um, I'm trying to gear up for a debut album, so it just kind of seemed fitting. You know, I was working with Mason and I was working with Jamie Cuse on some stuff, and so those are all people that's in his camp. So it definitely just seemed fitting for that.
So, when you're looking for a feature, um, people to work with, but like, what is one of the key things like you're looking for?
Um, I don't know. I'd say like right now in my career with how kind of not small I am, but you know, I'm still trying to grow my fan base as well. And I've done like a small Western Canada tour where I got out to the farthest I got out to Calgary and then we had to peel back. We could talk about that later, but so I'm still trying to grow up to, you know, places like Calgary, Vancouver, Ontario. So um, working with a lot of people in Canada is kind of my goal, I'd say, which is why I do work with a lot of the Snowstorm crew as well, because I'd like to work with what I consider quality, right? Um, so definitely that's what I really look for right now. But I think after this, I'll probably try and branch out to the States a little bit more as well. I've talked with guys like Locksmith and Sharon Benton about doing stuff. So that might be something, not now, but maybe a year down the road, possibly looking to do.
Yeah, Locksmith, he's dope.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. Locksmith easily top 10.
Yeah, he's fire. So, yeah, how is just like the overall because being in a metal band and then going to hip hop how is like the everyday like vibe like different because I imagine just listening to different music it's kind of like it's a whole different vibe like have you noticed that or is it kind of like you know
Yeah,
you're
I've been rapping, I think, for like 4, almost 5 years now. And
Yeah.
definitely it's a positive outlook, especially just around the time, like I said, I was going through stuff. So being able to vent that stuff. And even if you listen to my music in that timeline, it gradually, you can hear it definitely goes from kind of a negative to a positive. So yeah, no. But it's all also really big on what you talk about and think about and whatever you bring about, right? So if you're talking positive and whatnot like that, you're gonna do good. But if you're talking negative, you're gonna be negative, right?
For sure. For sure. Yeah, like yeah, it's definitely like positivity. Like, man, you can't have enough of that.
Oh,
Like,
definitely.
me, like I even like sometimes like if I'm not in the right mood, like I'll even go in like the washroom and like look in the mirror and be like, just smile.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know, like
exactly.
like smile, motherfucker. Like you got some good, a lot of good shit going on. I,
Smiling.
I actually find like a lot of people like and I'm guilty of this too, but I recognize it sometimes. But it's like I'll get mad about something,
Yeah.
and then like I'll let that like stir in my head for a while, but then like I'm like, yo, why am I letting this thing fucking bother me when like all this other shit in my life is going good?
I'm huge for that, man. I'm a hugely reactive person too, right? So that's why I really try and work on that side of myself as well, right? So yeah, being positive changes that as well, right? Smiling, like you were saying, is overall really good too, right? Because I like
Yeah,
to say it's in my family that we say that that's just a state of mind, smiling, right? Whether you're at work or you're with your friends or wherever, man. If you're smiling, you bring a different vibe to the room or wherever you're in, right? So yeah, for sure.
for sure. I even like I was watching something like years ago, and like for me like I didn't realize like I was always wearing black or dark colors or like just like very like dull colors. And like I was watching this thing, and they were like, "Yo, like the way you walk in a room, like the color shirt you wear, like your posture, your everything, like changes so much about like how people like perceive you and how they act towards you. Like if I'm always wearing black clothes and I walk in with my kind of like my shoulders down, my head
Yeah,
down, like and, like they're just gonna be like, oh, like they're not gonna be like too interested to talk to me. But if I walk in a room with a yellow shirt and if
yeah.
I can, uh, and my shoulders are up and I'm smiling and people are like, oh, I want to talk to that guy.
Yeah, well, you bring about exactly. It's just like I was saying there, right? Like you bring about what you think about, what you talk about, all that stuff. It's the law of attraction. So, um, yeah, and wearing, just bright colors even affects certain. I forget what it is. It's like I haven't talked about or researched it in a while, but I don't know if you're familiar with like chakras and all that type of stuff.
What was
So
that?
even chakras and whatnot and like spiritual energy and stuff like that. So it's even in like the foods that you eat and whatnot, right? Certain foods can highlight this and stuff like that. So
For sure, for sure. But like, I can't give up my mac and cheese. But like, you know,
weird. No, but yeah,
for sure. But like, me, like, yeah, I've been like, um, like sometimes I just sit there and eat grapes, man. Fucking, like, sometimes if a girl comes over, like, have her feed me the grapes. It's fucking it's a good experience, you know.
like yeah, my word, bro. Um, but it's like it's all these certain points in the body that it's like hard to explain. It's really spiritual type stuff. I can even send you some stuff, but it's really, yeah, it has to do with benefiting your body and your mind and being positive, actually, keeping that type of energy. Um,
Me, that's something like I could definitely work on. Like like me, like I eat bad foods all the time. I just had a slice of pizza,
well,
Crazy.
that's vices, man. And everyone's got their vices. It is what
For
it is.
sure.
That's that. Like I've never even like what you were saying there with like walking into the room, I was going to say something about that somewhat of like people are going to judge you regardless of what. If they say they're not going to, and a lot of times that doesn't even need to be um, harmless or whatever, but that's vices, right? And everyone's got their vices too, and so there's no. I have my vices, man. I'm an ex. Whether you're not an ex-alcoholic, but I'm an alcoholic technically, but I'm 2 years sober. So everyone's got vices. Like I still crave that stuff every now and then, but I'd never go back to it, right? But everyone's got vices. There's no,
Yeah,
no way to
I find myself going back to cheeseburgers, but you
know. That's one you're sticking with, eh?
yeah, like mac and cheese, cheeseburgers. Like I just bought some. Like I went to Costco today. I got a bunch of apples, um, bananas, fucking a bunch of other shit. You know?
Word. I'm trying to eat a little bit healthier this year. I myself, um, I am with my fiance now. We're almost together for about a year and a half, and going from a bachelor, and now I have 3 kids. So now we cook suppers, and I just kind of stopped eating all those, like the buddy in the comments said there, box food and stuff like that. I stopped eating that, and even now we're trying to eat healthier and healthier and healthier as we go. We started eating save on foods and different chickens and trying to stir it up and really try and cook some good stuff.
You were saying you have 3 kids. How has life gone from like just like living life and kind of like you just know like you just gotta put yourself through it to having 3 kids where it's like I gotta do this and like have and raise these just raise them right, you know.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. No, I'm grateful for that for sure. That's been a life change, hugely. I don't even know how to like. I can't even. I've never really talked about that big, but no, that's a huge change. Like you kind of have to work. You're like you said, right? You're just putting yourself through life before, and then it gives you a purpose, a reason, something to wake up in the morning and do, and yeah.
As like the music changed as you had like each kid, like has the music kind of like changed, like you notice that, like how
Um, like the style itself.
yeah, like the style or just like the shit you're talking about and like
That
um
would say no. And I like want to get a little more personal, especially with this album that I'm working on. It's like I said, I have my vibe that I would like to do, but
yeah.
the content itself I would like to change. So there's a lot more personal stuff that I could be talking about, like that type of stuff, right? Family or whatever it may be.
Because I find sure it's cool to have like all types of different music, but like some of my favorite artists like they might have like a couple songs that are like super personal, but they have them, and they're like and like I find like those are the kind of things like where like your fans will like really like if the fans feel like a personal connection to you
Yeah,
like through some of that personal shit, like even doing like interviews. Like if somebody's watching this interview and they're like, "Oh man, this guy's a really cool dude." Like I want to like, and sometimes like they'll just check out the music from there. Like even if they're not a fan, they're just like, "Oh man, this guy seemed cool on the interview." You know, like so like that getting that really that personal connection,
yeah,
super
exactly.
important. I actually think it's like everything. You
Exactly. Well, yeah, that's huge, that personal connection, especially. That's what I should have brought up when we were talking about not being able to get that in Saskatchewan, right? So it's just
know?
like music videos as well. Like you do a music video that puts a face to your music, which adds, another.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
bigger. I don't know how to explain that, but you'd rather watch a music video than just listen to a song, right?
Right.
Just like you're saying right now. Connecting and whatnot to the artist is huge. And so interviews like this or articles or certain things behind the scenes stuff is huge, especially in today's age where you have the internet and whatnot.
So what was like what are some of the platforms out there for like who are like people doing like interviews like what are some of the opportunities you can get like out there?
In Saskatchewan itself?
Yeah.
Ah, geez. See, like that's what I mean. Is off the top of my head, I can't even really think of it. Um, there's not a lot. I know there's a couple, and I don't mean to like degrade them by any means by not remembering them, but it's yeah, there's like slim to none.
Okay.
Yeah.
With me, I'm from Ontario, but I'm from this small town in Brantford. Me, I was doing I was rapping before, and I was doing all these shows, and I was watching all these interviews and trying to figure out how to get better at my craft, kind of just do a whole bunch of it doesn't hurt if you're a rapper to watch like Nas interviews, RZA interviews. It doesn't hurt to if you're a rapper to watch this shit, right? Actually, it's something good to watch. But I was watching these interviews and I was thinking, I was like, man, like all these artists that I know around this area that I've been doing shows with, like none of them have interviews. So
Yeah.
I was like, I need to start this shit, Like I need to start something I think as the scene grows, as you're making more moves, and like people really get on it, that's what it really takes. It really takes a bunch of like a, a place can't really develop that if they have one good rapper. They have to have like multiple rappers and kind of like multiple people that kind of lead the scene, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And that's what's tough, right? Is it depends on your scene as well, because there's a lot of different cities that um I don't know, they don't want it's almost like they don't want people to succeed, right? But regardless of that, definitely like you were saying, as small as we are, scenes growing, I think that shouldn't even, I don't think that people should be focused as much on leaving their local scene as much as we should be growing together, right? Especially with Canada,
Yeah.
because we have such a vast amount of talent. But I always like to tell everyone who that I do stuff like this with, right? You're from Ontario, and I'm here in Saskatchewan, and I've heard of you, and you've heard of me, and
Yeah.
so regardless, it's somehow in the airwaves we've connected and grown in that way, and now we're making lanes for each other, right? So that's what I'm more focused on, big in a big time sense is just Canada in general, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of talent around here that's undiscovered.
Yeah, it's definitely me I actually be in hype when I send one of my shirts I got my shirts and when I send them to Colorado or like California or I send it to Saskatchewan I get hyped because I'm like, man, like somebody's gonna be like walking around in these
Yeah.
areas with an Eddie GTV shirt and people are like, oh, what and like people that told me around that have been wearing them, they'll be like, yo, people ask oh, what is that? And me
Yeah.
I find as artists and just people in the scene, I find it'd be crazy we're all walking billboards. And I find it'd be crazy for me to rock a Nike shirt all the time, or a fucking if I'm not wearing an Eddie shirt, I'm wearing a shirt from another artist.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure.
Do you have any merch?
At the moment I don't, because I haven't been to a show or doing shows or anything like that, so I don't have much merch. But I gotta get some. I want to get some. I've just been too focused on investing in my music career itself this year. So
That's definitely part of it, and for me for years I didn't have stuff, right?
yeah,
And then and people always said, oh, whenever you get T-shirts, I'll buy one. And people say shit though, right? Like people oh, I'll come out to your show, and they'll never show up, right? So
yeah, they never
me I was always like, oh man, it's just people saying shit. Oh, fucking sure you're gonna buy my T-shirt when I get them, right? And then I got T-shirts, and then they fucking sold out like super quick, and I was like, oh shit, like people were actually like not lying to me, like you know?
Well, that's my thing too. Like I have, like I said, I have my record label, and we have like a merch design too that we're probably gonna get done quick too. But with me, myself, and my personal branding, I just don't know where to even take it as well. You know, like
Yeah,
um, that's the other thing too, right? Is trying to get that on point, and keeping it with your brand and keeping it personal enough, but also making it marketable. I've always said that I want like a shirt that you would be walking down the street and not know that it's a rap artist, right? It looks like a t-shirt
yeah,
company, so oh, that's a sick shirt, like streetwear or something cool like that. So it's hard getting that type of thing. But I think it definitely, as I work on my debut album, we're getting to the right aesthetic that I could do something like that. So
yeah. It's definitely it's definitely a cool feeling. Like when people will message me and be like, "Yo, I was just out at Walmart and I seen a girl rocking one of your hoodies," and it's like that's dope. Like man, like people tell me that all the time. Like people be like, "Oh, I was out here." Around my city because I've sold like quite a bit around my city. So
yeah,
people will be like, "Oh, I was out here, fucking, you know, I was at like fucking Freshco or fucking Walmart or whatever, you know."
man, I gotta get merch now. Now you made me thinking about that. I gotta get investing in some merch, but I got so much on the go. That's the other thing too. Right? Is
Yeah,
um, trying to divide all that money properly, especially like you said too, right? With the transition of having kids, that makes a big difference as well. But luckily, I have a super supportive spouse, and she's let me still invest in my music. So, but trying to balance that, and I think definitely with the album that I'm working on, I'll probably get some merch out. So,
so
she always wanted
how do you go about like finding beats, like like finding the right producers to work with?
Um, shit. Like I worked with a few just people in like my hometown itself. Like I think two people there. And that just never really worked out, right? It just songs would go in limbo or whatever. So at that point, I started making my own beats. And then, like I said, working with Junk and other people, you find some certain connections, and then that's where I found Mason Rex, who actually does, um, like beats for Mercules and beats for Junk and Brevner as well. A couple good Canadian rappers and whatnot. Me and him have worked together quite a bit. We've done, I think, 4 records actually. That because I have one in the works. He'll be doing my whole album like that. And I don't know. I don't really know how I find the perfect one, but I definitely say I think like working with Mason, it was the track on the last track on my project that we did, which was a 2-part track. Um, that brought out a certain vibe that I was looking for in a long time in the outro itself, which was that middle sound, somewhat shifted with the rap as well. Um,
Yeah,
so things like that, that's kind of what I look for, right? Is just certain sounds that get brought out, or even just feelings in myself, right? Of pride, I guess you could say,
yeah,
stuff like that, yeah. Because the producing, that's what I learned myself, producing my beats. The producer's everything pretty much, right? The song wouldn't be there without the beat maker.
right, right. Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely cool like collaborating and making different shit with different people and like producers tell like beats tell like, their own story themselves. Like so when you're writing, do you do you have something in mind already, or do you kind of just let the beat kind of like tell you whatever direction you want to go in?
um, it depends. Like if I'm doing the beat, I'll just make the beat and see what happens and kind of let the words flow and write it as it goes and figure it out. Right? Or sometimes I'll even record each line or whatever, or as it goes, or figure it out. But then when you're working, especially with uh, outside producers, and I'm from Saskatchewan, Mason's from Surrey, right? So
Yeah,
and when you're paying the amount that you pay with him, um, you want to have some, like we usually do like 2 or 3 reference tracks, right? Um,
yeah,
whether it be one of his songs that he did and then another song or whatever, but you definitely try and look for a certain vibe, and that point, I'd say I do look for if I'm going through something, or whether it be good or bad, right?
Yeah.
Or I hear a certain song, and it's not that I want to. You want to emulate pieces, right? So you send in this and this, and yeah. Structurally or whatever it may be like that. That's how I
Yeah.
would with that in those scenarios.
Yeah, you mentioned there about like recording a line and then recording the next line. Like me, I actually tried that and I like it. Like for me, like I found like you can say like each line exactly how you want to say it. Because sometimes like writing it down and then like spitting the whole thing later on, you might not actually remember exactly how you said that one line. Like the tone of your voice, or you might have said this one line stretched a little bit more, like the one
Yeah.
word stretched a little bit more, or like or said it really quick. You know, like for me, like doing the shit like right as soon as you think of it, it is dope. Is that kind of your favorite way of doing it, or no?
Like I said, it depends. It depends on the project, right? Like
Yeah,
the songs that I do with, I would say like Junk and Fitch and stuff like that. Those are ones where I'm really meticulous with the recording, right? I'll actually go in and so I'll have my main layer, right? And I'll do 5 takes of the main layer, and then I'll take bits and pieces of each of those 5 takes to make one structural main layer. So it's perfect. Then you go and do that with your layer, and then you go and do that with your dubs, and et cetera, et cetera. But it all, yeah, no, it all depends. I've had a lot of tracks where I've done just, pop on the mic, go and either freestyle or write 2 bars and then go and do and work and then, go back to the paper and whatever. And it really depends. I don't know. I haven't written in a long time, but writing's something that I do. I'm not like a lot of other rappers where they need to write every single day. I find that drains me, really, because that's what I did when I first started rapping, like we were talking about, right? Because the transition of just being able to finally go and write and record and put it out and have that done was huge for me. But no, yeah, I think nowadays I try and just stay a little bit more relaxed with writing certain bars or whatever. And then I also do spurts too, right? Like I'll sit there and I'll write like 3-4 songs in a day just because I had these 2 beats or something like that, right? Or whatever.
for sure, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. So you have any questions for me?
Yeah, no. How long have you been doing your interviews for?
I started like the very first episode, probably like the end of 2012.
Nice, man. Geez, how long is so almost like
Yeah,
2020, almost 10 years, eh?
yeah, 9 years. Yeah.
Not bad, man. So who's like the biggest person you'd say that you interviewed?
I'd probably say um the battle rappers, probably like Sharon and DNA, probably like 2 of my big ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. For me, like personally, yeah, like those guys as known people, like
Yeah.
they're my biggest, but like probably like personally one of my favorites was Shot Claire, because
Oh,
like
that's nice.
his shit when I was in high school was like bumping, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, it actually took me back, right?
No, that's sick for sure. That one's tight. Um, Shit, I had another question. I have really bad ADD, so it's like either sometimes it'll be here and then it's gone. I had another question there, but damn.
Yeah. But
Um,
so is there anything like you want to plug like new shit coming up where people can find your music?
um, yeah, no, RaytheNihilist, RaytheNihilist. I'm sure you guys can find me somehow through the live here and whatever. You can follow me. I'll follow back for sure, and we can connect somehow. I'm working on some new stuff. I'm always working on some new stuff. Like I said, I'm working on a new album, and I got some stuff with Penwork as well. I'm not too sure if you're familiar with Penwork, but he's pretty dope. He's from Vancouver as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry, it might be BC area. We'll call it, but he's sick too. That as well as Mason Rex. And shout out to the whole Stay Royal Records gang. You can follow us there too. I'll drop a link in the comments or something like that. Here, I'll actually do that right now. You can go follow that. That's all me and the homies there, the crew that I run. Yeah, no, I'm not too sure. I run a small circle, but shout out to everyone too that I've been working with too. All the artists and producers and engineers. Well, can't forget those guys.
Yeah. So me, like, yeah, I'm about to eat some bad food, so like I might throw off my energy, but I'm gonna smoke some good green after that. So I'll be right good, right back for my next interview. But yeah, man. But I'd like to thank you for coming on the show. I'd like to thank you for just like making dope music.
Appreciate it, man. No, and again, I appreciate you having me on, especially from the distance that we are. It's hard to grow a fan base, especially in that lane, especially that far away, right? Especially with COVID, not being able to do touring stuff like that. So appreciate you having me on, man.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, you have a good night.
Word up. You too, brother.
All right. Peace.
Peace.